are going to be in place beginning the 1st of January until December 31st of next year. So here on this first page, we have some information going over who is eligible. So employees that are eligible are full-time employees working a minimum of 30 hours per week. And you may also have some eligible dependents that you would like to include in your benefits. So this could include someone like your legal spouse, your domestic partner, or also your children, or maybe adopted children as well. And also normally after you enroll in these benefits in the open enrollment period, they are set in place and you cannot change them for the entire year. There are a few exceptions called qualifying life events. So qualifying life events are certain events that can happen in your life that would lead to a change in status. This means things like marriage, divorce, maybe you have a baby that you'd like to add on to your plan, or the adoption of a child. All of these listed here count as a change in status. So if one of these things happens, you have 30 days to notify your HR representative in order to make those changes in your benefits. So the platform that we are using for you to enroll in your benefits is going to be Employee Navigator. Enrolling in your benefits is a mandatory process. Even if you are waiving benefits, you do not want to enroll in these plans, you still have to go into Employee Navigator to waive them. And to enroll in anything, all of your information, kind of your one-stop shop for all of your benefits is Employee Navigator. There's going to be detailed plan documents, so if you would like any additional information, it's all going to be there. If you are a new employee or registering as a new user, we have instructions on how to create an account here. You're going to use this company identifier, and please make note that this is case sensitive when you are entering it. And also for any returning users, any existing employees, it's very likely that throughout the year you have forgotten your password, but no worries. All you have to do is follow these instructions and you can create a new password. So there's going to be 3 plan options through Florida Blue. It's going to be your new carrier. And we have option 1 listed here with the Blue Options Network. With this plan, and all 3 plans actually, you're going to have in and out of network benefits available to you, but we always recommend to stay within the network. It is always going to be a lot more cost effective to stay within the network. If for any reason you need to double check if your provider is within the network, we have instructions here on the side. And also for finding a provider outside of the state of Florida, we have all of that here. So here for option 1, your calendar year deductible is going to be $3,500. And for families, it's going to be $7,000. Once you meet that deductible amount, it's going to switch into a co-insurance structure. So for those services, it's going to be 80% and 20%, meaning that Florida Blue will cover 80% of the cost of those services, and then you will be responsible for 20% of the cost. Then we have our calendar year out-of-pocket maximum. So this is the maximum that you will pay throughout your plan year. So once you reach this total dollar amount, Florida Blue will continue to cover every service at 100%. So for an individual, it's going to be $7,500. And for families, it's going to be $15,000. Getting down to medical care, preventative care is going to be covered at 100%. And primary care physician's visits are going to be $30 after deductible and coinsurance. Specialist visits are going to be $75 after you meet your deductible and coinsurance. Under this plan, you do not need to select a primary care physician, and you also do not need a referral to see a specialist. If you would like any virtual care with a primary care specialist, that's going to be $0 after deductible and coinsurance, and specialists are going to be $75 after deductible and coinsurance. Once we get started with urgent care, you're going to see little asterisk stars next to each of these categories. That means that these services are also applicable for coverage through gap insurance. For anyone not familiar with how gap insurance works, don't worry, we're going to get to that a little bit later. Just wanted to point that out here. So urgent care is going to be a $100 copay after deductible and coinsurance. For emergency room, it's going to be a $350 copay after deductible and coinsurance. And then inpatient care, all the way down to complex diagnostic imaging, is going to be deductible and coinsurance. For prescription drugs, the medical deductible does apply, so you're still going to be paying deductible for those services as well. So for tier 1, it's going to be $10 after you meet your deductible. Tier 2, it's going to be $50 after you meet your deductible, and tier 3, it's going to be $80 after you meet your deductible. If you have any specialty medication, that's going to be $250 after the deductible. And if you need to order any medications through the mail, a 90-day supply is going to be 2.5 times retail copay. So here on this page, we have option 2. It's also going to be using the Blue Options network. You have a calendar year deductible of $1,500 and a family deductible of $4,500. After you meet your deductible, those services are going to be 80-20. So Florida Blue will cover 80% of the cost and you will be responsible for 20% of the cost. The calendar year out-of-pocket maximum for an individual is going to be $5,300, and for families, it's going to be $10,600. For medical care, preventative care is going to be covered at 100%. And primary care physician's visits are a $25 copay, while specialists are a $50 copay. With this plan, you also do not need to select a PCP and you do not need a referral to see a specialist. For virtual care with your PCP, that's going to be $0, and virtual care with a specialist is going to be a $50 copay. Urgent care is going to be $50 copay. Emergency room, inpatient care, outpatient surgery, as well as physician fees are all going to be deductible and coinsurance. Diagnostic lab is a $0 copay. Diagnostic x-rays are $50, as well as complex diagnostic imaging, it's going to be a $450 copay. For prescription drugs, it's just going to be a copay structure. You do not need to meet your deductible. Tier 1 is $10, Tier 2 is $50, Tier 3 is $80, and any specialty medication is going to be $250, while mail order pharmacy, a 90-day supply, is going to be 2.5 times retail copay. Once again, anything from urgent care down to complex diagnostic imaging has that little star, so you can use the gap insurance to help with the cost of those services. All right, so we're down to our last option. Option 3 also is with the Blue Options network. You also have out-of-network benefits with this plan, but once again, it's always best to stay within the network. The individual calendar year deductible of this plan is going to be $500. For families, it's going to be $1,500. The coinsurance after you meet your deductible is going to be 80-20 once again. And your calendar year out-of-pocket maximum for an individual is going to be $3,000, and for families, it's going to be $6,000. Preventative care for all 3 plans is covered at 100%, and with this plan, your primary care physician's visit is a $25 copay. Your specialist visit is a $60 copay, and for PCP selection, you do not need to select one beforehand, and you also do not need a referral to go see a specialist. For virtual care with your primary care physician, it's going to be $0, and with a specialist, it's $60. Urgent care is going to be a $65 copay, and if you need to go to the emergency room, that's going to be a $300 copay. Inpatient care as well as outpatient surgery is going to be deductible and coinsurance. And physician's fees for a freestanding facility, so an ambulatory surgical center, is going to be $60, and if it's within a hospital, it's going to be $100. Diagnostic labs are $0 and diagnostic x-rays are $50. And then complex diagnostic imaging is going to be that same deductible and coinsurance structure. Prescription drugs, tier 1 is going to be $10. Tier 2 is $50. Tier 3 is at $80 and specialty is $250. With this plan, you also have mail order pharmacy available at 2.5 times retail copay. So all of those little stars mentioning the gap insurance, you have 2 options available here. With the first option, you do have to meet a deductible before you are able to start receiving benefits, but they both work almost exactly the same after the deductible. With option 2, you do not need to meet a deductible. So for anybody unfamiliar with the way the gap insurance works, you have several pools of money that you can use towards different services. So it helps with the exposure and the cost of your medical plans. So for inpatient hospital stays, inpatient procedures, anything having to do with inpatient in a hospital, you have one category of money that you can use towards that. So with option one, it's going to be $5,000 per covered person. And with option two, it's going to be $4,000. You also have a category for outpatient hospital benefits. With option one, it's going to be $5,000. And with option two, once again, it's going to be $4,000. And this helps with things like radiation, chemotherapy, outpatient surgery, kidney dialysis as well. Also, under both plans, you have an enhanced outpatient benefit rider. So this helps with things like infusion therapy, durable medical equipment, so things like crutches and wheelchairs. You also have a physical and chiropractic therapy rider. So for any reason you need to see a chiropractor or you need to get physical therapy, you have $1,000 per covered person to help with those costs. And also, if you need to get in an ambulance for whatever reason, you have $2,000 for both accident and illness that you can use towards that cost. Here we have just some additional information about gap insurance. And whenever you receive any service, make sure that you have both your Florida Blue card as well as your Transamerica Gap card. And if your service provider has any issues with filing the claim or they're not able to file it on your behalf, we have instructions here on how to file it yourself. And also, if you would like any assistance with claims having to do with your gap insurance, we have a contact page at the end of the presentation where you can reach out to any of us on the Brown and Brown team. So here we're going to go over some Florida Blue resources that are available to you. So here's some information going over the member website registration and phone application. So both the phone app and the website are basically your one-stop shop for everything that you need having to do with your medical plan. If you need to look up an explanation of benefits, if you need to look up the expected cost for a certain service, you need to look up a provider, you want to learn more about the resources and the programs available to you, anything about your medical history, services done to you in the past, everything is going to be available through your Florida Blue app and website. So I highly recommend making sure that you register on both of these platforms and have everything ready. And also you can access your medical card on the app as well. So also Florida Blue has virtual visits available through Teledoc. This is a really great service to get easy and accessible care whenever you may need it. This is available 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So no matter where you are in the country, no matter what time it is, if you need any kind of medical attention, you can access it digitally through Teledoc. So once again, you just go on the Teledoc website and you can register, make an account, have that available to you for whenever you might possibly need it. Also, if you happen to find yourself in Florida, I know that most, if not all of you, are located in LA. I won't speak on this too detailed, but Sanitas Medical Centers is a very convenient freestanding facility where you can get a lot of these services done, but it is located only in South Florida. So if you happen to be in South Florida and you would like any services done, that here is a map with the locations. So something else that's available through Florida Blue is the Better You Strides program. So this is a rewards program where you can also track your health assessments and track certain steps towards your health goals. So this is a really great resource to have to make sure that you're doing preventative care, that you're doing routine health checkups and different things that are important for your health while also receiving points and receiving rewards. So here we have the instructions on how to download, how to register on the Florida Blue app. And then here we have some additional instructions if you would like to do it from your computer. So here we have a page going over the importance of preventative care and some additional information on that. We really want to emphasize the importance of getting your regular checkups, getting your labs, making sure that you're going to all of your appointments, because the earlier that you catch anything that might potentially be happening, it is not only much easier to treat, it's a lot lower in cost to treat. So those are two really big things that make it important to always get your checkups. And we have a website here called health.gov/myhealthfinder, where you can put in your age and your sex, and it tells you certain procedures that you are eligible for in preventative care. So that's a great tool to stay informed and make sure that you're up to date with everything. Here we also have a healthcare consumerism page. It's very important to be an informed and a smart consumer when it comes to your healthcare. So we have some tips on being a better consumer, as well as some information regarding pharmacy discount programs. So just a great way to save some extra money through your pharmacy. And we also have a chart about choosing the right type of care. It's very important to be going to the right place to get the right type of care. You wouldn't go to the ER for a cold, and it wouldn't be great to do virtual visits if you have a broken bone. So it's always best to be conscious when it comes to cost, and also be conscious when it comes to the right care that you need. So here we have some information going over an HSA account. So you are able to enroll in the health savings account if you enroll in the medical plan option 1. So an HSA is a great way to save on your taxable income. You put pre-tax money into this account, and you're able to use it for routine healthcare, for any medical expenses, hospital expenses, dental care, vision care, anything having to do with your healthcare, you can use this money for. So we have the 2025 contribution limits here. And also you can contribute to this account, and you're never going to lose the money. If you leave your current employer, if you don't use it, you are able to save this money up until retirement. And after retirement, this money is completely yours to use for whatever you want. So a great advantage for a health savings account. And if you would like to learn any additional information, we have this great resource hyperlinked here in the presentation. For anyone enrolling in medical plan option 2 and 3, we have a flexible spending account available. So a flexible spending account is another great option for putting aside pre-tax dollars to save money for medical expenses. The big difference with an FSA is you are not able to roll over the entire amount year to year. You have to be a little more strategic with an FSA, and you have your maximum rollover limit here. So it's going to be $660 that you can roll over year to year, but it's still a great way to save on your taxable income. All eligible employees are also they can also enroll in a dependent care flexible account. So it's another pre-tax savings account that you can put aside money for any eligible dependent care. And there's also commuter benefits available. So that's another way to put aside some pre-tax money in order to help with the cost of transportation. Also with this page, we have another hyperlink with some great resources if you would like to learn additional information. So here we have the 3 dental options available to you. We have the dental HMO, dental PPO, and then the buy-up dental PPO. With the dental HMO, you have only in-network benefits available to you. And also a great advantage with a dental DHMO, you do not have to pay a deductible, and you do not have an annual plan maximum. With all 3 plans, it's going to pay a percentage of the cost of each service. And with the DHMO, you are going to have orthodontic services with a copayment for both adults and children. Now for the dental PPO, you have a calendar year deductible for individuals as well as families. So for individuals, it's going to be $50, and for families, it's going to be $150. Your annual plan maximum under this plan is going to be $1,000. So once you reach $1,000 under this plan, you are no longer going to be covered. But this PPO covers a high percentage of the cost of each service, so it's probably going to be hard to reach that total. Orthodontic services under this plan is going to cover 50% of up to $1,000 for both adults and children. And then the third option, we have the buy-up dental PPO. So this is if you would just like a little bit of extra coverage while also being under that PPO structure. For individuals, it's going to be $50, and for families, it's going to be $150. And your annual plan maximum is going to be $1,500. Also with this plan, the buy-up option, orthodontic services, is going to be the same, 50% of up to $1,000, but very important, this one only covers children up to age 20. Also for all 3 plans, if you want to check if your provider is in the network, we have instructions listed on the side of the page here. So here we have the vision plan, same as last year, offered through Aetna. You have in and out of network benefits available to you. Always better to stay within the network. It's going to be much more cost effective. If you stay within the network, your eye exam is only going to be $10, and frames is going to be a $130 allowance with 20% off any additional balance. Any standard plastic lenses is going to be $10. And contact lenses is a $115 allowance and 50% off any additional balance. If the contact lenses are medically necessary, it's going to be $0. And the frequency of all of these services is going to be once every 12 months. If you would like additional pairs of eyeglasses or prescription sunglasses, you can get up to a 20% discount, and you also have discounts available if you would like LASIK laser vision correction. So here we have life insurance available through Guardian, and this is going to be an employer-paid policy. So you don't have to pay for this policy. You don't have to do anything to receive this policy. It is automatically given to all eligible employees. So this policy is going to be $25,000. And the only thing you have to do is make sure that your beneficiaries are updated in Employee Navigator. And you also have additional life coverage available if you would like to get additional coverage. For employee life, you can get increments of $10,000 up to $300,000. And for spouses, you can get up to $250,000, but it cannot exceed 100% of the employee coverage amount. For children, you can get $10,000 for 14 days up to age 26. So here we have the page describing disability. So you have voluntary short-term disability available, as well as employer-paid long-term disability. Laura, could you chime in that extra bit for California employees?
Yes. So anybody that does reside in a state mandated disability state like California, New York, New Jersey, and Hawaii and Rhode Island, even if you elect the voluntary short-term disability plan offered by the company, however, since you do live in a state mandated state, that the state mandated state will offset the voluntary disability with the company instead of the state mandated one. As you can see there, it does say it on the attention screen or the attention box. If you do have any questions on that, happy to answer them after the presentation, but just wanted to bring that to your attention since majority of you are in the state of California right now.
Thank you, Laura. So just to briefly go over what the short-term disability is, it's going to have a maximum weekly benefit of 60% of up to $1,500, and benefits are going to begin on the 15th day of accident or illness, and the duration of this benefit is going to be 11 weeks. If you're unable to work for longer than 11 weeks, you're able to receive long-term disability. So that's going to start after 90 days of disability, with a monthly maximum benefit 60% up to $6,000. We also have some additional Guardian products available to you here. There's accident insurance as well as critical illness. So if you are in any kind of accident or you are diagnosed with a critical illness, you may receive a check from both of these policies. There's more detailed policy descriptions on Employee Navigator if you would like to learn more about them. But basically the way that both of these work is they pay money directly to you, and that money is yours to use for whatever you want. You can use it towards the expenses of the critical illness or accident, or you can use it for absolutely anything else. It is your money, so these are great products to help with any cost of accident or illness, as well as just the cost of life. So we also have an employee assistance program offered through Aetna. It's very important to not only take care of your physical health, but also to take care of your mental health. So this is a great program to get some additional assistance. It is a free phone number, 24/7 service, 100% confidential. Even if you talk about any issues with work, they are not going to notify your employer. So you can call this number to get any assistance if you're having issues with your family, if you need any kind of counseling, if you need help with your day-to-day life, maybe you might even need legal and financial assistance. All of that you can use this resource for. And if you need any additional assistance with any of these problems, they will refer you to someone who can continue to assist you. There's also pet insurance available through Spot. So there's multiple plans that you can get for your pets. So there's accident and illness. You can get an accident only policy as well as preventative care. So you can get some discounts as well on different pet products. And there's also a 24/7 pet telehealth line. So here we have the employee deductions. So this is just a chart to briefly show what the cost of each of these choices might be, depending on if you choose for yourself or you and your spouse and you and your family. For the medical plans, gap, dental, and vision. For any of the additional products, the deductions will be shown in Employee Navigator. So there's a lot of information to go through in this presentation, and it's probably going to be a little hard to keep track of it throughout the entire year. And you may have questions or issues that come up throughout the year. So here we have the contacts page for all of anybody that can help you with anything that you might need. We have your human resources contact, and we also have your dedicated Brown and Brown team. So Laura is here assisting me on this call. She's your account executive. She's your go-to contact for absolutely anything having to do with your benefits. We also have Jennifer, and we also have Christina, your employee benefits account coordinator. So any of the three of them will be the best contact to assist you with any issues. And if for whatever reason you need to reach out to the carriers directly, we have all of that information listed here. We also have a great free service called Benefit Hub. So this is a discount marketplace with an almost endless amount of discounts available to you. All you have to do is click on this link here and sign up with your email, and you can get discounts for travel, for car rentals, for hotels, Disney World tickets, entertainment, restaurants, anything that you can think of is probably on Benefit Hub. So highly recommend creating an account and start saving. Thank you so much for everyone for listening to this presentation. Now we will open it up to everyone for questions.